Welcome to Heartspeak Podcast, reconnecting to our soul's deepest truth. Well, hello there, wherever you're in the world. It's good to be back with you. And we are living in very interesting times. With Uranus, the planet of revolution, uniqueness, unusualness, extraordinary, turning backwards in Gemini, communication, messages, laws, rules. We are seeing a upturn in this is what I believed, but now there's a whole new set of beliefs and rules coming into our lives. So everything that you may have held on to as a belief, whether in your own personal life about your childhood, your family, or in the general world, is being pushed to the surface and saying, if this is not true, then what is? This is a time to revalue your assumptions, because that's what sustained us in many times. As long as I know this is true and nobody questions it, then I'm fine. Hey, those times are over. Because not only is the hologram in which we've been living, that belief that things will just go on in the way they are, dissolving to allow a new hologram to be formed, a new way of being to be formed. But as it does that, the pillars of our understanding, the things that created and held together that hologram, are also dissolving, falling away. And what this allows us to do is not just to feel chaotic and anxious, but actually reevaluate our own truths. Who am I? What do I believe? Who am I if I'm not my outer identities? So some of you may be going through changes in your job or your relationships or the way you see yourself in your family. It's like, well, if I'm not that role, then what am I? Who am I? Maybe there's something more exciting waiting for me. So between now and I would say the beginning of next year, this is not a time to really make new changes. Oh, I'm going to do this, because you may just be using the old paradigms, the old assumptions, the old beliefs to create a new job, which is actually just the same. I remember when I left medicine, general practice, I became a homeopath and I thought, wow, what a big change I've made. But all I'd done was kind of, I always say, turned the triangle on its side. I was still taking care of people and rescuing people because that was my identity. I hadn't really changed my identity. I just changed the way in which I did it. And so I learned to take a year off every 7. I don't do it so much now that I'm semi-retired, but it allowed me to let go of my addiction, my obsession with that particular identity, to define myself and to define my soul's journey. If you haven't done something like that, you don't have to take a year off. Just taking 2 weeks off would be a start. And not continually going back to your phone to see if anybody needs you, or going online to see what's going on. What would it do to actually not define yourself through a habit or an addictive way of defining yourself? So we are going through these changes. Uranus is stirring things up. Now, what's interesting with Saturn and Neptune going back into Pisces, and we spent a lot of time talking about Pisces in the past, is that Pisces is about the two fish swimming in opposite directions, joined by a common band, which is the sacred marriage of opposites. However, for 2000 years, it's actually not been that. It's been more of a polarization. You're with me or against me. So what you're going to see over these next few months is a return of that. We are the good guys, you're the bad guys. And just recognize that neither of those are true. In our Pluto and Aquarius world, which is still continuing, there isn't a good guy and bad guy. There isn't a leader where everybody needs to follow that leader if they're going to be part of the clan. I always say one fish at the beginning and everybody else following, but nobody's in power except for that fish at the beginning is only in power because of the power that the people give it. We are seeing the decline of that type of leadership. The guru, the leader, the teacher, the messenger who says, if you don't follow me, then you're not with me at all and you're not a good person. We've seen that throughout politics, religion, and even within the spiritual movement. Pluto in Aquarius says everybody is a leader. This is a time for the people, and the people to actually respond to their own inner call, not to follow one person. So we're watching even as people who say they're for the people stepping up as a leader, and then they're falling off the pedestal, because that's not where we're going. We're through coming together through groups of people coming together with a common cause, but each defining it through their own soul's truth. And that's what we need now, because this isn't about, even though our cause may be the same, all of us have unique qualities. That's the Aquarian way. And that's what Pluto in Aquarius is saying to us. Find out who you are at your deepest truth, what makes you unique, and then shine your light using that uniqueness, or let that uniqueness shine out into the world. Be that unique piece of the jigsaw, because no piece of the jigsaw is the same. We need each of us to lay our piece of the jigsaw down on this earth to bring heaven onto earth. So this is helping us to break away from following someone else's way, but it's also breaking us away from, I will say, old traditional ways of believing about ourselves from, I will say, a psychological way. I'm a victim, I'm a martyr, no, I'm not. I can express myself through all those pieces, but that's not who I am. So this is a time, as Saturn and Neptune go back into Pisces, Uranus is turning in Gemini, to say, I am stepping forward as the unique person I am. You may not understand me. My language may be different. I don't need you to understand me. I just need you to hear me. And that is what we need to do with our friends, with our family, with anybody in our world. Is I don't need you to see me fit in. I don't need to play the game. I need to show my uniqueness, which is not, therefore, a fearful place to be. In other words, you don't like my opinion? It's just my opinion. I don't have to be told that my opinion's wrong because I'm no longer fitting in with the way that everybody thinks. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So less of the fitting in, less of the feeling you're not good enough, less of the feeling that you have to stay as a victim or that somebody else has done something to you. Those days are over. Those days are over because they no longer are ways in which to define ourselves. And you might say, well, who am I? Why am I here, Christine? You're only here to fulfill your incarnation and your destiny in this life. How that appears is through all the different facets of who you are on this earth. What do I mean by that? Yes, you may say, well, I'm a mother, I'm a partner, I'm a father, I'm a child. Yes, you're all of that. But what else are you? That's the exciting part. What other exciting parts of you want to be seen at this time? And as these truths come to the surface, and I can guarantee we're going to see lots of interesting revelations coming up over the next few weeks, this isn't about a blame game. This isn't about, oh, I was right, you're wrong, or let's blame those people. It's about maybe the problem was of me or others wanting to believe in that one person and follow them whatever they did. Does that make sense? It's just like, oh yeah, that's their way of being, that's their way of being. I can accept all of that, but it doesn't define me. So this isn't about, again, polarization, blaming, judging. This is about, now I have a truth, I can actually fulfill my own destiny in a different way than I would have if I was trying to align to a particular tradition, church, politics, etc., etc. So everything that we assume to be true is dissolving in order not so we feel anxious, but so that we know our own truth. And this is a time with Uranus and Gemini to be speaking that truth, not from again, you've got to believe me, otherwise I'm going to feel insecure. But find your voice. Hey, I want you to know me as I am. I understand that might be difficult because we come from different planets, we speak a different language. But if you can listen with your heart, that's all I need. It's not my words you need to accept. It's the fact that I exist and I have a truth that I ask you to hear me. So these changes are being enhanced by a wonderful total lunar eclipse, which is happening on the 7th of September. And a lunar eclipse is really stating what I've been speaking about, especially since it's on the North Node axis, which is really, North Node is where we're going individually, where we're going collectively. So it's literally with the North Node and the lunar eclipse, it's taking us into the nothingness. And it's okay to say, I have no clue where I'm going. I have no clue who I am. Because once our mind is no longer trying to grasp those parts of our being, we can drop into our hearts and say, I may not know where I'm going. I know where I don't want to be anymore. I know what feels good to my soul. We can listen to our body. We can listen to our soul and say, you know what? I will know what the next step needs to be because I'm now tuned into my soul through my intuition. I know what is right for me and my path because I'm no longer using my mind to take me there, but my heart. I'm listening to my body, the friend of the soul, that says, you know, I'm exhausted by doing what I've been doing. Let's do something different. I'm not letting the mind contradict the body and say, no, you don't know anything. I'm the person in control here. So maybe the next few months you'll say, I don't know where I'm going, but I will know when the time is right because I trust my heart. I trust that I am so loved that I am surrounded by guidance, spiritual guidance, angels, whatever you want to believe in, that actually love me at that deepest level, that say, we will make sure that you follow that deep truth that is your existence in this life. It isn't about what you do, it's do you do it from your heart? Sometimes I use the word, do I enjoy it? Enjoy. Sometimes, am I doing it from love or fear? Another way of discerning which are you doing. Am I doing it because I want to please other people or I want to make people like me? These have agendas. So can we work without an emotional agenda, knowing that we are perfect as we are now? So knowing you're perfect, knowing that the soul has made this choice, you're not a victim of anything, listen to your heart for those next steps to be taken. You're not here because you're an imperfect being or the soul doesn't love you. You're here because you are loved and you have chosen to expand universal consciousness. And that's a never-ending story. But that's what you came here to do. That is true service. I came here to expand consciousness of myself, my higher self, the universe, and anybody else I come in contact with. And I was looking at the idea of a life review. Brian Weiss talks about this in his book, Life Between Life. And we all have a life review when we pass over. And it's always said that we have three guides, wise beings who are with us watching this life review. And you know, what we see is the effect of our words and our actions on other people. But it's not about guilt. Oh, I wish I hadn't caused that person to feel that. The greatest life review messages are, did I help that soul to grow, to shine their light more fully by my words and actions? That's what we're here to do. And did that soul help my soul to grow and shine its light more brightly? We're here to resonate with each other so both of us can expand and at the same time create new consciousness for the universe. So in our life review, we might see, where did I shut that person down? Where did I discourage them for doing something because of my own fear that they may do it better than I did? Where did I do it for them when it would have been better for them to fall flat on their face and experience something? Yes, we call it, well, they didn't love me or I didn't love them. But love is not so much about an emotionality. Sometimes we love someone so much we let them go to do what they came here to do. That's love. Sometimes keeping quiet and letting them make their own decisions is love. Love is, did I connect that other soul more fully to themselves through our interaction? And that's whether you're a parent, a child, whether you're a practitioner, a therapist, whatever you do in life, every interaction you have, including with, I'm looking at my beautiful garden, with my garden, did I help that tree to grow more fully? And did I help that bird to sing more fully and brighter because I noticed it? My interaction said, wow, that's beautiful. Everything in this amazing planet that we live on is alive and conscious. Everything on this planet has chosen to come into a three-dimensional world in order to experience expansion of consciousness. Everything that we interact with and we resonate with, I like that mountain, I like that tree, is a living being that's saying, I will help you grow if you help me. And when we interact with joy and celebration and appreciation, everything expands in consciousness, everything becomes brighter, everything becomes clearer. And we need to do that with the people in our life. If we keep other people small in order for us to feel secure, this is not love. How can I help you to grow? How can I help you to see yourself more fully? That's our only purpose. And so we are living in these amazing times. And as I said, this Uranus, we're going to see more revolutions, more people stepping forward. But again, the stepping forward is for them to become more conscious of their powers, their strength, their gifts, their talents. And to come together, we create a better world. We create a better world, a more peaceful world, a world where people truly respect each other. And where we actually find peace not by harmonizing everything to be the same. We find peace because everyone is being allowed to express themselves, to grow, and to become more and more attuned to the deepest truths of their soul. As I say, keep your seatbelt on. We're in for exciting times. Judge not, that you may not be judged. Recognize that as things come to the surface, these are things that have been buried far too long in the name of keeping others small while some grow. The truths that are coming are not for judgment. They are for us to grow inside ourselves and set ourselves free to be all that we were born to be. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the HeartSpeak podcast with Dr. Christine Page. Please check out all HeartSpeak episodes in the podcast archive section on www.christinepage.com. HeartSpeak is also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, and now playing on Amazon Music and iHeartRadio. You can also watch the Archive podcast on Christine's channel, on YouTube, and now on Rumble. Connect with Christine on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook group, The Great Mother Calling. Do share with family, friends, colleagues. Join us next time for another edition of Heartspeak.